What made the samurai invincible in battle, yet forged their souls beyond war? In feudal Japan, there was a code of honor that defined life and death for warriors, a moral path so strict that it became the very essence of those who followed it. This was Bushido, the way of the warrior. It was not just a set of rules, it was a way of life. Bushido taught generations of samurai to live with courage, self-restraint, and unwavering devotion, to stare death in the face without fear, to honor their word more than life itself. But Bushido was not just for warriors. Over time, it shaped Japanese society as a whole, engraving a culture built on discipline, respect, and resilience. In the early 20th century, Japanese scholar Inazo Nitobe sought to introduce this code to the West. He wrote Bushido, the soul of Japan in English, aiming to explain to Europeans and Americans what had shaped the Japanese spirit. What exactly did this code entail? And why does it continue to fascinate and inspire even today? Let us embark on a journey through the way of the warrior. The way of the warrior was not just a theoretical concept. It was a living philosophy, a mindset that forged characters and defined the very existence of the samurai. They were not merely soldiers. They belonged to a unique social class, standing between the common people and the aristocracy. Though they were warriors, they did not live just for battle. They lived for a mission. From the moment a child was born into a warrior family, their training began. But it wasn't just about martial arts or strategy. Bushido was something much deeper. It was a code that influenced every action, every thought, every decision, no matter how small. Discipline and self-control. The heart of Bushido samurai learned from an early age that discipline was more powerful than physical strength. It didn't matter how skilled one was with a sword if they could not control their emotions. Anger and impulsiveness were signs of weakness. True strength lay in self-mastery. This discipline was not limited to the battlefield. Samurai were taught to walk calmly, speak precisely, and even control their breathing. Restraint, simplicity, and composure were not virtues. They were obligations. A true samurai never boasted of their power. They did not threaten or provoke. Silent confidence was their trademark. They knew that true power lay not in brute force, but in the ability to control it. Death as a way of life. One of the most significant aspects of Bushido was its relationship with death. Unlike Western philosophies, which often viewed death as something to be feared and avoided at all costs, in Bushido, it was met with acceptance. Samurai were raised with the idea that they must be ready to die at any moment. Not because life was meaningless, but because they honored it. He who fears death is not free. This was the belief of the samurai. This mindset did not make them reckless or self-destructive. On the contrary, it gave them an incredible sense of inner freedom. They did not live in fear. They did not hesitate. They knew that every moment was precious and that every decision carried weight. A samurai had to be prepared to die with dignity and honor. If one failed to uphold the principles of Bushido, seppuku, ritual suicide, was the only honorable way out. It was not merely an escape from disgrace. It was the ultimate declaration of loyalty and atonement. The warrior as an artist and philosopher. But Bushido was not only about war. True samurai were not just fighters. They were also artists, poets, and thinkers. A warrior could not simply be strong. They had to be wise. Knowledge was power. It wasn't enough to wield a sword. One had to understand the nature of the world. That's why many samurai spent hours writing haiku, meditating, or studying Confucius. These were not mere pastimes. They were ways to cultivate their minds and strengthen their character. A samurai who could not control their mind could not control their sword either. The ultimate principle, honor above all. Another critical element of Bushido was honor, meiyo. In the world of the samurai, honor was more valuable than life itself. To lie, to betray one's lord, or to show cowardice in battle were the gravest offenses. Punishment did not always come from others. Most often it came from the samurai themselves. A dishonored warrior could not live with themselves. Bushido today, lost or still alive. Today samurai no longer exist. There are no noble warriors with swords following the way of the warrior. Or are there? Because if we think about it, Bushido is not just about samurai. Its principles, discipline, self-control, dignity, are values that withstand the test of time. They are values that can still be applied today. The modern world is different, but its challenges remain the same. Fear, insecurity, the need for strength and respect, these things have not disappeared. So the real question is, can the way of the warrior still teach us something today? What does it mean to live with honor? And how far would you go to protect it? In Bushido, honor, Meiyo, and courage, Yuki, were not abstract ideals. They were the very essence of a samurai's existence. Without honor, a warrior had no purpose. Without courage, he could not defend his honor. Honor was not just about actions on the battlefield. It was a way of life. A samurai had to be truthful, reliable, and unwavering in his principles, even when no one was watching. His word was his bond. If he made a promise, he was willing to die to keep it. This strict code of honor is what made Bushido so absolute. There was no room for excuses. If a samurai dishonored his name or failed in his duty, the only way to redeem himself was through seppuku, the ritual suicide that cleansed his honor with blood. But how could a samurai defend his honor without courage? Courage was not just the ability to fight without fear. It was the ability to do what is right, even when fear is overwhelming. For samurai, death was inevitable. The difference between an ordinary man and a true warrior was that the latter had fully accepted this truth. When you no longer fear death, you are truly free. A warrior did not show courage only in battle. He showed it in life. It took courage to speak the truth, even when it came at a cost. It took courage to follow one's duty, even if it meant self-sacrifice. True samurai did not live to kill. They lived to serve, to protect, and to be an example for others. And if the time came to sacrifice themselves for something greater than themselves, they did not hesitate. But what about today? Is there still room for honor and courage in a world that seems to have forgotten them? Many believe that Bushido belongs to the past, that it faded away with the samurai. But if we look deeper into modern Japan, we'll see that its principles are still alive, not on battlefields, but in the everyday lives of the people. Discipline, respect, and a sense of duty remain core values in Japanese culture. From social interactions to workplace dedication, Bushido has shaped a nation that prioritizes honor and responsibility. In the business world, for example, many Japanese professionals see their commitment to work as a modern form of Bushido. Working diligently, respecting superiors, and striving for excellence are not just professional standards. They are an extension of the samurai spirit. Even in daily life, the Japanese follow a philosophy of self-discipline and dignity. You can see it in the way they bow, the way they apologize, the way they care for their environment and public spaces. Bushido may no longer exist in the form it did for the samurai, but its values have not disappeared. They remain a part of Japan's soul. Can Bushido still teach us something today? Although we live in a completely different world, Bushido still has something to teach us. In an era where discipline is neglected, where honor is often overlooked, and where loyalty is seen as outdated, Bushido reminds us that true strength lies not in power, but in character. We don't need to be samurai to apply these values. We can choose to be more disciplined, to be honest, to keep our word. We can choose to have honor, even when no one is watching. The question is, would you follow the way of the warrior? Thank you for your support. That was Bushido, the soul of Japan, and we hope you enjoyed this journey into the way of the warrior. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps our channel continue to create content like this. And of course, let us know in the comments if you want to see part 2. There's still so much more to explore about Bushido and Japanese philosophy. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and stay true to your path. We'll see you in the next video.